You think I'm going to share 500 million naira with someone like you? The words struck Amara like a physical blow. She stared at her husband of 8 years, at the man she'd loved and supported through every failure, every disappointment. Chitty stood in their small Surulere flat, designer clothes with tags still attached hanging from his body, a suitcase packed at his feet. Chitty, I'm your wife. A wife I never wanted. The venom in his voice made her step back. I was trapped into this marriage. But that's over now. I won the lottery, and I'm done suffering with you in this miserable life. Tears streamed down Amara's face as he pushed past her, his shoulder slamming her into the wall. The door crashed shut. The car engine roared outside. 8 years, gone in 4 days. She sank to the floor, broken, destroyed. Then her hand brushed against something in her purse. A lottery ticket. The one she'd bought for herself that same day. With trembling fingers, she unfolded it and checked the numbers. Every single one matched. The winning ticket wasn't Chitty's. It was hers. She'd mixed them up. A cold smile spread across her face. Hello guys, welcome to my African Tales. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share it with your friends, and most important thing, turn your notification bell so you can get informed when I dropped another amazing story. Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. What would you do if your spouse tried to kill you and you survive? Will you take a revenge or disappear forever? The ceiling fan spun lazily above Amara's head as she stirred the pot of jollof rice, the aroma of tomatoes and spices filling their 2-bedroom flat. Outside, Lagos hummed with its usual chaos. Okada riders weaving through traffic, street vendors calling out their wares, and the distant sound of Afrobeats from a nearby shop. 3 days ago, she'd stopped at the junction near Yaba Market where Mama Lottery sold her tickets. Chitty's birthday was approaching, and Amara had thought a lottery ticket would be a fun gift. On impulse, she'd bought 2. One for him, one for herself. It was only 400 naira total. Why not dream a little? She'd scribbled their names on scraps of paper and tucked the tickets away, not thinking much about it. Amara. Chitty's voice exploded from the living room. Amara, come here now. She wiped her hands on her wrapper and hurried to find her husband standing in front of the television, his whole body trembling. The lottery results flashed across the screen, and Chitty clutched a crumpled ticket in his fist. I won, he whispered, then louder. I won 500 million naira. Amara's heart leaped. Chitty, are you sure? Let me see. Sure. He laughed, a strange sound she'd never heard before. Woman, I've checked 10 times. The numbers match perfectly. We're rich. Rich. He grabbed her and spun her around, and for a moment, Amara let herself dream. No more struggling to pay rent. No more choosing between buying inventory for her shop or fixing the leaking roof. Her mother could finally get the surgery she needed. Maybe they could even start the family they'd been postponing due to money troubles. We need to verify it at the lottery office, Amara said, trying to stay calm. Tomorrow we'll go together and… Tomorrow? No, we celebrate tonight. Chitty was already dialing his phone. Tund. My brother. You won't believe what just happened. That night, their small flat filled with people. Chitty's cousin Tund arrived with beer and suya, followed by neighbors and friends who'd somehow already heard the news. Lagos grapevine worked faster than the internet. Amara watched her husband transform before her eyes. Chitty, who usually sat quietly in corners at parties, now stood on their sofa making grand pronouncements. I'm buying a mansion in Banana Island. A Range Rover. No. 2 Range Rovers. Don't forget your family, brother, Tund shouted, his arm around Chitty's shoulders. The people who supported you. Amara noticed how Tund never left Chitty's side, whispering in his ear, refilling his beer. Her husband's eyes grew glassy, distant. Chitty, maybe we should slow down, she said quietly, touching his arm. We haven't verified anything yet. He yanked his arm away. Stop being so negative. This is the happiest day of my life. The party lasted until 3 a.m. Amara cleaned bottles and plates while Chitty and Tund sat on the balcony, making plans. She caught fragments of their conversation. That shop of hers is embarrassing. You need a woman who matches your new status. Divorce lawyers who can handle it quietly. Ice flooded Amara's veins. She stood frozen, a garbage bag in her hands. The next morning, Chitty didn't come home. He sent a text, staying at Tons. Need to make important plans. The morning after that, looking at properties in 6. Don't wait up. Amara threw herself into her fabric shop, trying to ignore the growing dread in her stomach. Her mother, Mama Ego, called every few hours. Has Chitty gone to verify the ticket? Not yet, Mama. Amara, something is not right. That boy was never worthy of you. I'm coming to Lagos. Mama, please, I can handle. But her mother had already hung up. On the third night, Amara couldn't sleep. She paced their flat, checking her phone obsessively. At midnight, she heard a key in the lock. Chitty stumbled in, reeking of beer and expensive cologne she knew they couldn't afford. His eyes were red, unfocused. Still awake, he muttered. Chitty, we need to talk. You haven't verified the ticket. You're spending money we don't have. And I heard you and Ton discussing. Discussing what? His voice turned cold. My future? Yes, we were. My future without you. The words hung in the air like smoke. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm done, Amara. Done with this life. Done with you. He swayed slightly. Tomorrow I'm moving out. Tund found me a place. You're drunk. Go to bed. We'll talk in the morning. There's nothing to talk about. He grabbed his pillow from the bed. I'm sleeping in the living room. And tomorrow you'll see. Everything changes tomorrow. He left her standing there, her heart cracking like old clay. She didn't sleep. She couldn't. At dawn, she heard him moving around, and she knew, somehow she knew, this was the day her life would shatter. Morning light crept through the windows as Amara heard rustling from the bedroom. She'd spent the night on the couch after Chitty had claimed it, eventually moving to sit by the window, watching Lagos wake up. The bedroom door opened. Chitty emerged, but he looked different. He wore new clothes, an expensive agbada she'd never seen, Italian leather shoes, gold chains around his neck. Where did you get those? Amara asked. Bought them yesterday. On credit. The shop owner knows I'm good for it. He smiled, cold and distant. Can't meet with property developers looking like a poor man. He walked to the bedroom and emerged with a suitcase. A new suitcase, also expensive. Chitty, what are you doing? What does it look like? I'm leaving. He began throwing clothes into it. Amara stood, her body moving on autopilot, following him. Leaving? We haven't even verified the ticket. We need to go to the lottery office together and… There is no we anymore, Amara. The coldness in his voice froze her blood. What are you talking about? Do you think I'm going to share 500 million naira with someone like you? Someone like me? Chitty, I'm your wife. I bought you that ticket. He laughed, cruel and sharp. A wife I never wanted. You think I didn't know? Your mother, always pressuring my family about our connection, about honor and tradition. I was trapped into marrying you. Amara felt like she'd been struck. That's not true. You said you loved me. We built this life together. You built nothing. He slammed the suitcase shut. I suffered in this cramped flat, eating your cheap food, wearing rags, while you played businesswoman with your little fabric shop. I pretended to be happy, but I was dying inside. Well, not anymore. You can't just leave me. Watch me. He grabbed the suitcase handle. I've already spoken to a lawyer. Divorce papers will be served next week. And before you get any ideas, Tund has already hired security. Don't try to contact me or claim any of my winnings. Your winnings? I bought you that ticket with my own money. Money you earned because I allowed you to work. Everything you have comes from my generosity. But that's over now. He moved toward the door. Amara grabbed his arm. Chitty, please. Don't do this. Let's just go verify the ticket together. Let's think clearly. Get your hands off me. He shoved her hard. She stumbled backward, her hip hitting the wall. Pain shot through her side. For a moment, they stared at each other. The man she'd loved, who'd never raised a hand to her before, who'd cried in her arms when his father died, who'd promised to love her forever. That man was gone. A stranger stood in his place. "You're making a mistake," Amara whispered, tears streaming down her face. "My only mistake was wasting 8 years on you." He opened the door. "Goodbye, Amara. Tell your mother she can stop calling me her son. I have a new life now." The door slammed. She heard his footsteps on the stairs. An engine started outside, a car he must have rented or bought on credit, so certain of his fortune. Amara sank to the floor, her body shaking with sobs. 8 years. Gone in 4 days. She thought of their wedding day, how handsome he'd looked, how they'd danced under the Lego stars. She thought of the meals she'd stretched to feed them both, the nights she'd encouraged him after job rejections, the dreams they'd whispered in the dark. All lies. Or had they been real once, before money poisoned everything? Her phone buzzed. Her mother. "I'm catching the next bus to Lagos. Don't let that foolish boy make any decisions without family present." Amara couldn't even respond. She sat there as the sun climbed higher, as the sounds of Lagos grew louder outside her window, as her entire world crumbled around her. Finally, numbly, she stood. She needed to splash water on her face. She needed to call someone. She needed to figure out what to do next. She walked to the bedroom, moving like a ghost through her own life. Her purse sat on the dresser. She reached for her phone inside it. Her hand brushed against paper. A lottery ticket. She pulled it out, frowning. Then she remembered. The second ticket. The one she'd bought for herself that same day, with her own 200 naira. She'd completely forgotten about it in all the chaos. With trembling hands, she unfolded it. Her phone sat next to her purse, the lottery website still open from checking Chitty's numbers days ago. She looked at the ticket, looked at the screen. The world stopped. Her numbers matched. Every single one. Amara stared at the ticket in her hand, her mind refusing to process what she was seeing. She checked again. Then again. She counted each number slowly, her finger tracing across the paper, comparing it to the winning numbers on her phone screen. 6, 14, 23, 31, 38, 42. Perfect. Absolute. Perfect. A laugh escaped her throat. Then another. Soon she was laughing and crying simultaneously, her body shaking as the realization washed over her in waves. Chitty didn't win the lottery. She did. She must have mixed up the tickets when she gave him one. That day at the junction, she bought 2. One for his birthday, one for herself. She'd written their names on little scraps of paper and tucked them into an envelope with the tickets. She must have given him the wrong one. For 4 days, Chitty had been parading around Lagos with a worthless piece of paper, spending money he didn't have, burning bridges, destroying their marriage. All for nothing. The real winning ticket, worth 500 million naira, had been sitting in her purse the entire time. Another laugh bubbled up, darker this time. The universe had a twisted sense of humor. Her phone rang. Mama Ego. Amara, I'm at Jibowa bus station. I'm coming now. Mama? Amara's voice cracked. What happened? Did that useless man hurt you? Mama, I need you to come quickly. And don't tell anyone you're coming to see me. Please. 2 hours later, Mama Ego burst through the door, her wrapper flying behind her, her face tight with worry. She took one look at Amara's tear-stained face and red eyes and pulled her daughter into her arms. Tell me everything. Amara did. She told her about Chitty's transformation, the cruelty, the shove, the divorce threat. Mama Ego's face grew darker with each word. That boy, she hissed. I knew he was weak, but I didn't know he was wicked. His father would be ashamed. Mama, there's more. Amara held up the lottery ticket. This is the real winning ticket. I won the lottery, not Chitty. We mixed up the tickets. Mama Ego's mouth fell open. For once in her life, she was speechless. They sat in silence for a long moment. Then Mama Ego began to laugh, a deep, rich sound that filled the flat. Olorin is not asleep, she declared, raising her hands to heaven. God is awake. That foolish boy thinks he's going to abandon my daughter and live like a king? With a worthless paper ticket. Mama, what do I do? Amara felt lost, overwhelmed. Do I tell him? Do I just claim the money? Do I? You do nothing, Mama Ego said firmly. She took the ticket from Amara's hands and examined it carefully. Not yet. First, we need to think like the wise women we are. She stood and began pacing, her mind clearly working. This ticket is registered to you, yes? You bought it with your own money? Yes. I have the receipt somewhere. Mama Lottery at the junction knows me. Good. And Chitty's ticket, the worthless one he thinks is winning. That was a gift from you. Yes. Mama Ego smiled, sharp as a knife. Then here's what we do. We let him continue to think he's won. We let him make his plans, rent his penthouse, buy his expensive things on credit, parade around Lagos like a big man. But Mama, listen to me, child. That boy has shown you his true heart. He pushed you. He called you worthless. He said he never loved you. These are not the actions of a man who deserves mercy. Amara's hands clenched into fists. So, what are you saying? I'm saying we let him climb higher and higher on his ladder of lies. And then, at exactly the right moment, we pull it out from under him. When? Amara whispered. When he goes to claim his winnings. When he's standing at the lottery office with all his new friends, his fancy lawyers, his cameras and journalists. When he thinks he's about to become the richest man in Lagos. Mama Ego's eyes gleamed. That's when you walk in with a real ticket. A cold feeling settled in Amara's chest. Part excitement, part fear, part something darker she didn't want to name. But until then, Mama Ego continued, you play the abandoned wife. You cry. You beg. You let him and everyone think you're broken. Meanwhile, we prepare. We find the best lawyers. We document everything he's done. We gather witnesses. And we protect this ticket with our lives. She took Amara's face in her hands. Your father, God rest his soul, always said revenge is a dish best served cold. Chitty wants to throw you away like garbage? Let him try. But he's going to learn that this garbage bites back. Amara looked at the ticket in her mother's hands. 500 million naira. Freedom. Justice. Revenge. Okay, she said quietly. Let's do it. The next 2 weeks were torture. Amara played her role perfectly. The devastated wife, crying to neighbors, heartbroken and lost. Meanwhile, across Lagos, Chitty was living his fantasy. Mama Ego's network of market women kept Amara updated on every move. Chitty had rented a penthouse in Victoria Island, one he couldn't possibly afford. He'd ordered 3 luxury cars, deposit pending, the dealer had said. He'd been seen at the most expensive clubs in Lagos, buying bottles of champagne, surrounded by new friends. And every day, he posted on social media. Photos of his new clothes, his new lifestyle, captions about cutting off negative energy and leveling up. Never mentioning Amara by name, but everyone knew who he meant. The divorce papers arrived on a Monday. Amara signed them without contest, as her lawyer, a sharp woman Mama Ego had found, advised. Let him think this is easy, the lawyer had said. Let him think you're defeated. But in private, they were building their case. Mama Ego had gone to Mama Lottery at the junction and gotten a sworn statement about the tickets. They'd collected receipts, documented Chitty's abuse, gathered witnesses. The real winning ticket sat in a bank safety deposit box. Finally, the day arrived. Chitty announced on Instagram that he was going to claim his winnings. Friday, 10 a.m., at the National Lottery Commission headquarters. Big things coming, his post read. Can't wait to show the world what success looks like. To everyone who doubted me, watch and learn. The comments section filled with congratulations and requests for money. Amara noticed that not one person asked about her. Thursday night, Mama Ego came to the flat. Are you ready? Amara looked at herself in the mirror. She'd lost weight. Dark circles shadowed her eyes. But beneath the exhaustion, something harder had formed. I'm ready. Friday morning, they woke before dawn. Amara dressed carefully, her best wrapper and blouse, her hair wrapped elegantly. Mama Ego wore her finest lace and gelly. "We go to war looking like queens," her mother said. They arrived at the lottery commission at 8 a.m. The building sat in a coy, modern and imposing. Amara's lawyer was already there, along with Mama Lottery, who'd agreed to testify if needed. "Your husband is bringing cameras," the lawyer warned. "Media people. He's turning this into a show." "Good," Amara said. "Let them film everything." At 9:45, the circus arrived. Chitty pulled up in a borrowed Bentley, Tund beside him. Behind them, 2 news vans. A small crowd had gathered, people hoping to see the lucky winner. Chitty stepped out wearing a pure white agbada, gold dripping from his neck and wrists. He waved to the crowd like a politician. Cameras flashed. "There's the man of the hour," a journalist shouted. Amara watched from inside the building, her stomach tight. Chitty looked so happy, so confident. Part of her, a small, fading part, wanted to warn him. But then she remembered his hands pushing her into the wall, his voice calling her worthless, 8 years dismissed like trash. The feeling passed. Chitty entered the building, an entourage of 20 people following. Tund, various cousins, people Amara had never seen before, all claiming to be family. They filled the lobby with noise and laughter. "Mr. Okafor?" A lottery official approached, looking overwhelmed. "Please come to the verification room." "Lead the way, my brother," Chitty boomed. "Today is the day my life changes forever." The crowd surged toward the verification room. Amara and her group followed at a distance, unnoticed in the chaos. Inside the verification room, Chitty presented his ticket with a flourish. 500 million naira, right here. The official examined it carefully, typed numbers into a computer, frowned, typed again. "Sir, I'm afraid there's a problem." "What problem?" "The numbers match." "Yes, but this ticket number isn't the winning ticket in our system." The room went silent. Chitty laughed nervously. "That's impossible. Check again." The official called over his supervisor. More typing. More frowning. "Mr. Okafor, these numbers are correct, but this specific ticket, serial number 874,562, is not registered as the winner. The winning serial number is 874563. "What are you talking about?" "I have the numbers. Right here." Tund pushed forward. "This is a mistake. Check your system." More officials crowded around the computer. The crowd in the doorway began murmuring. Cameras captured every moment. Then a clear voice cut through the confusion. "Excuse me. I believe I can explain." Everyone turned. Amara stepped forward, her mother beside her, her lawyer on her other side. Chitty's face went white. "What are you doing here?" Amara reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "I'm here to claim my lottery winnings." She handed the official her ticket. The real one. Serial number 874563. The verification room exploded into chaos. "What is this?" Chitty shouted. "This is my wife. She's trying to sabotage me." "Ex-wife," Amara corrected calmly. "You served me divorce papers, remember?" The lottery official examined Amara's ticket, his fingers trembling slightly as he typed the serial number. The room held its breath. Even the cameras had stopped moving, operators frozen in anticipation. The official looked up. "This is it. This is the winning ticket." "No." Chitty lunged forward, but security stepped in. "That's impossible. I have the winning numbers." "Someone check. This is a scam." "Mr. Okafor, please calm down," the supervisor said. "The numbers on both tickets are the same, yes. But lottery tickets are verified by their unique serial numbers, not just the numbers drawn. This woman has the correct serial number." Tund grabbed Chitty's arm. "How is this possible? You've been carrying that ticket for 2 weeks." Amara finally allowed herself a small smile. "That's because I bought 2 tickets that day, Chitty. One for you as a birthday gift, and one for myself. I mixed them up when I gave you yours." The room went deadly silent. "You." Chitty's face transformed, shock, rage, disbelief crashing across his features. "You knew?" This whole time you knew? I found out the day you pushed me into the wall and left me crying on the floor, Amara said, her voice steady though her heart was pounding. The day you told me I was worthless. That you never wanted to marry me. That you'd been suffering for 8 years. This is theft. Tund yelled. She stole his ticket. Actually, Amara's lawyer stepped forward, documents in hand. We have proof that Mrs. Okafor purchased both tickets with her own money. Here's the receipt from Mama Lottery, with the serial numbers clearly listed. Here's Mama Lottery herself, ready to testify that Mrs. Okafor bought 2 tickets that day. Mama Lottery nodded vigorously from the doorway. Not true. She buy 2 tickets. I remember well. This is also recorded on the store's security footage, which we've obtained, the lawyer continued. Mr. Okafor's ticket was a gift. The winning ticket was always Mrs. Okafor's property. A journalist pushed forward, camera rolling. Mr. Okafor, is it true you left your wife after you thought you won? Can you comment? Another reporter joined in. Sources say you've racked up nearly 50 million naira in debt, promising payment when you claimed your winnings. How will you pay that back now? Chitty's face had gone from white to gray. He swayed on his feet. This can't be happening. This can't. Oh, it's happening, Mama Ego said, her voice ringing through the room. You thought you could throw away my daughter like rubbish? You thought money would let you escape consequences? Now you have no money, no wife, and the whole of Lagos knows what kind of man you are. Cameras flashed. Phones recorded. This would be all over social media in minutes. Please, Chitty turned to Amara, his voice breaking. Please, Amara. We can talk about this. We're still married. The divorce is final as of yesterday, the lawyer interjected. Then we can remarry. Baby, please. I made a mistake. I was drunk on the idea of money. But we can start over. Amara looked at him, really looked at him. This man she'd loved, who'd shown her his true heart the moment he thought he had power. You said I was worthless, Chitty. You said you never loved me. You told me I built nothing, that I was nothing. You shoved me and walked away without looking back. I didn't mean it. I was confused, overwhelmed. You meant every word, Amara said quietly. And now I want you to hear this. I forgive you. Hope flashed across Chitty's face. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It means I'm letting go of the hate and the hurt, and I'm moving forward. Without you. She turned to the lottery official. I'd like to claim my winnings now, please. As the official began processing the paperwork, Amara felt Mama Ego's hand slip into hers. Around them, Chitty's friends were melting away, Tund included, like sugar in rain. The cameras were still rolling, but Amara no longer cared. 3 months later, Amara stood in front of her new business, a large, beautiful fabric and fashion house in Lekki. Ego Fabrics, the sign read. Courage Fabrics. She'd paid for her mother's surgery, set up trust funds for her nieces and nephews, invested in young women's businesses across Lagos. The money had changed her life, yes, but not in the ways Chitty had imagined. She'd heard through the market grapevine that Chitty was working 2 jobs trying to pay off his debts, that he'd moved back in with Tund's family, that his name had become a cautionary tale. She felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not pity. Just peace. Mama Ego appeared beside her, admiring the storefront. Your father would be proud. I hope so, Mama. And Chitty. Amara smiled. Who?